One, two, three in the place to be. It's your player partner from the bottom of the map. Um, Another solo shot. Before we tap in, please hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. So whenever videos drop, you'll be first to be notified to tune in with you guys and share. Share the good word, man. If you want to hear some real spill and not none of the sugarcoat nonsense and the lip service, go ahead and share you guys. Um, and tell a friend to tell a friend. So, um, I guess we're in salvage the season mode. Salvage the season. We got Syracuse coming up. Um, we know what Syracuse did to us last year. We had at least ACC title game appearance hope, and they burst that bubble. Fran Brown said, "Not on my watch. We not doing nothing, but you won't either." Um, yeah, and they basically busted our season. Um, we go to Syracuse, and you guys all know the story. We go up 21 points, and we fumble away a golden opportunity, which seems to be the calling card of what this this current regime is doing, where we have all this opportunity, and it's like the green grass is right there in front of us, and the land of milk and honey is right there, and everywhere we want to be on the national stage is right there in front of our face. It's so close we could touch it, and as soon as we get close to touching it, we fumble it off, and we all just like, damn, so close. And there's always next year. The next year comes, and we see the golden egg or that national championship trophy, and it's right there, and we start moving towards it, and our hopes get high, and it's like, damn, it's right there. We could touch it. I could taste it, and we get a little close to it, and we squander it off, and we're left salvaging the season. And I think they got to be hard on the players when the players have high hopes, and you know, um, they keep kind of going through this same carousel. It's like a cycle that just like they just can't break for whatever reason. I don't know if somebody put some bad juju on the university or somebody did a hex or something, but it just seems to be like we keep falling into this same cycle, and we're in this place of where we're trying to salvage the season versus still chasing the goal that was set at the beginning of the season. But anyway, salvage the season mode. Syracuse coming to town. They got us as a 28, 29 point favorite. And as much as I want to say that we should blow Syracuse out, I mean like 70-0. Syracuse just lost last week to the Tar Heels at home. They're at home. They have no quarterback. Um, the Tar Heels, North Carolina is, they're starting to get better, but they're not a good football team yet. And they beat them pretty soundly, 27-10. Syracuse only had 39 yards of passing. They only barely had 100 and some change of rushing. They had less than 200 yards total of offense. North Carolina had 200 yards of rushing. They had 200 yards of passing. So Miami, based off of what Syracuse can do, by all the analytics and statistics and what should happen on paper, we all know, we've seen it before. For a team to kind of get back on track or to look better than what they should or what they normally do, they just play us. And the team all of a sudden, They can pass, they can run, they can tackle, they got gadget plays, they can do this, they can do that. Um, Pretty sure Fran Brown is licking his chops and saying, you know what, we've been getting our ass kicked all season, but we're not gonna get our ass kicked by Miami, and we're gonna have a game plan specifically for them. If Miami doesn't beat them by 50, I'm gonna be disappointed. I really am. If this is a close game, let's say Miami wins by 14. It's a 24-10 game, 27-10 game. I'm kind of going to be disappointed because by the level of talent that we have and by everything that we should be able to do, we should be able to run the ball. We should be able to stop the run. We should be able to do like anything that Syracuse could do. We should be able to stop it fairly easily. So we don't dominate this game and kind of assert our dominance. I'm gonna be disappointed, not shocked or not surprised. The only thing that kind of impressed me is if Carson Beck plays clean, our running game looks better. I'm not saying I need our running game to have 300 yards rushing and 7 yards of carry, but I want our rushing game to look more efficient. Let me say that. More effective and more efficient. I want us to continue to use the tight ends, and continue to get the offense, continue to get JoJo the ball, and have all the receivers do what they do. um, Syracuse only had 39 yards passing last week total. They only had like 5 completions the whole game. I need to see our defensive line really get to the quarterback. We want to see hurries. We want to see passes batted down at the line of scrimmage. We want to see them in the backfield, making it difficult for their quarterback the whole game. This is a game where Syracuse isn't Kent State or Western Kentucky or Central Michigan or something like that. But a lot of times when, the schools, they need to get their confidence back. Everybody needs to get back on one accord. Nothing helps more than a blowout win. When you're just running up the score, everything is working, and guys are high-fiving in the end zone. Guys are high-fiving in the backfield after tackle for loss or sacks. That kind of gets winning cures everything, right? Winning cures all. We've heard the press conferences this week. We've heard the press conferences from, Coach Cristobal. We've heard Carson Beck talk. And it seems they're just disjointed, right? They preach this message of, we go down as a team, we fight as a team, and then one person says, I do the play that was called. If people don't run the right route, I throw the ball where it's supposed to be. It seems very disjointed, right? And I was tooting the horn. I will admit it. I was the main person tooting the horn for this team feels more unified. I was tooting that horn a lot. This team feels more unified, and this team feels like there's a level of camaraderie that wasn't there in the past. I would say if Cam was on this team, what would this team really be? If Cam was on this team. Carson Beck is the quiet, he doesn't speak much, he leads by example guy. When he talks, it isn't, you catch him saying stuff that you wouldn't expect your leader to say. Guys, I'm running the right routes. throwing interceptions in crucial situations. I mean, it's happened twice. He threw the pick um, in the Louisville game, and he threw the pick in the SMU game. These are crucial turnovers. Those are two games that we could have possibly won. I'm not saying those games were the outcome because we still had to finish those games, but those are two critical plays that are on the shoulder of the quarterback, and the quarterback got to eat those. You got to eat them. You got to say, hey, that's on me. I need to have better communication with my receivers. We need to be more in sync. We need to get out and after practice, before practice, do whatever it takes to make sure that we're all the way locked in with each other, right? We know when we're on the field if we need to check coverage, check routes. I know what you're doing. You know what I'm doing. Um, so we don't have these instances. Um, and that's kind of what you want to hear versus excuses. But as far as that goes, that is what it is. And we'll just look at what are we going to do and how we're going to come out. We're at home. Are we going to come out and, like we've been saying every game, dominate from the start and keep going and keep going? Or are we going to, sleepwalk into this one? At this point, everybody is saying, the spotlight's on Mario, right? And I feel like the spotlight has been on Mario. And we've been learning about, the Canes had the opportunity, multiple opportunities to get Lane, all right, Lane Kiffin. And we're looking at college football now is changing, right? The coaches aren't the mainstay coaches that were, 25-year coaches anymore. You get all your players. You've been coaching for 25 years at one university. There's been 11 firings this year. 11. There's 11 FBS jobs open right now. So Mario, I wouldn't say. I feel like he's safe, and he's going to be safe to play out his whole contract. But how college football's been going, any other place he would be gone. Any other place he would be gone, or they'd be talking basically like how they're talking about Mike Norvell. Like at the end of the season, we're gonna figure out how to get him up out of here because at this point you have everything you need to be successful. You have resources, you have hand-picked coaches, you have facilities, and you have the unwavering, unconditional backing of the administration, the program. So you're safe. You have everything on your side that you need to be successful. And they have unlimited money to go in the portal and get whoever they need. They've gotten the number one quarterback 2 years in a row. They got the number one running back with Damian Martinez. So Miami is able to get everything you need. I mean, we really have. It's not even a Ferrari no more. We got a McLaren. I mean, we got. I know Cuban and South Coast. Yeah, y'all into the Formula One. Man, we really out here with a F1. We got a Formula One vehicle. I'm talking about. We could do 200 on the curbs. We on the straightaway is crazy. We have we got a Formula One vehicle. Talking about I mean, top precision engineering that you could ever think of. We got money, we got the players, we got the sunshine, we got the allure of the university, the lure of the third two. We got 230 for 30s. 230 for 30s. We have all of this stuff, the brand, the U, the orange, the green, everything you could think of with this university. And it's just like can't drive a car. We got somebody who don't know how to drive a car. Shannon Dawson is and Mario is like oil and water. Honestly, this team would work. As much as I hate to say it, I feel like this team with the style of play that Mario wants to play with, Josh Gaddis maybe in year 3 would probably work. I'm saying Josh, Jason Gaddis, whatever. Josh, Jason would probably work more than Dawson because Shannon Dawson and Mario have two different philosophies on what the offense should look like. And when you have two different philosophies, somebody is, traditional. I almost want to say pro style, run the ball 30 times a game, ball control the clock, versus somebody who's air raid. There's a conflict on what should be done in crucial situations. We get into these crucial situations and we're kind of like, there isn't a unified thought of what to do. And that has to be solved. Or else, I think the university should put the pressure, even if it's not real, even if it isn't something they're going to, almost like Dabo Sweeney, right? They've been losing. And I don't think Clemson's going to get rid of Dabo. I think Dabo has been great for the university since he's been there, and they're just experiencing some down years. But the pressure is on him. The pressure is on. The pressure should be on Mario. But there's 11 vacancies right now. 180 million in buyouts. 180 million in buyouts for coaches who are not meeting expectations. Universities have now, the NCAA has like pulled the veil back on the money. $180 million for coaches not to coach anymore lets you know how much money is in college football. It lets you know how much money is available in what's happening in, like, they want to call it amateur athletics, but it's not. It's not professional, but it's basically teetering on that. 180 million. Mario sitting pretty like this he shouldn't feel like it's a guarantee. Because I don't know if Miami has the money to buy him out, or if they would spend the money and be like, who are we going to replace him with? But I'm pretty sure Lane, one of these other top coaches at these other universities, Jed Fish, you got to at least call him. You got to at least test the water. You got to at least put your toe in the water and say, hey, man, we're just checking the temperature on this. There's certain coaches that they're just going to say no. Danny Lanning, they're just going to say no. Some coaches like the money and the prestige of the university, the publicity that comes with it. I mean, I don't know what if the university wants to win and they want to be considered a football powerhouse, this is what these universities are doing. LSU says, listen, we can't, Brian Kelly, we want to stick with you. We brought you from Notre Dame, but these 3 and 4 lost seasons is unacceptable. We can't do it. We'll just bring somebody else in who's going to at least do better than that. Mario needs the same thing. I don't think he's going to get it. I don't think he's ever going to feel that pressure, but he should start feeling the pressure. The fan base, unfortunately, because the majority of the fan base had blind faith, them starting to turn now isn't the fire isn't hot yet, because the fans, there's a certain point of when you blindly believed in something and then you finally see it not working, you still trying to rationalize it working. And I'm here to tell you it's not working. It's not gonna work. Mario as the head coach is not going to work. Shannon Dawson as the offensive coordinator is not going to work. We've been saying this for a couple years now. He had some prove it years. He had some, all right, we're gonna give you grace years. He's already had that. He had a Ferrari, a McLaren last year. He has a Formula One race car this year. And he's still blowing it. We're losing to minivans. We shouldn't be losing. We shouldn't be. We shouldn't even be in close games right now. How the hell is Indy fucking Anna Hoosiers doing better than the U? How? They're taking care of business. They're going into people's house, into big environments, kicking ass and taking names. That's what we should be doing. But all that to say, this weekend, you know, I think I need you guys to stop being surprised, start setting expectations, and start turning the heat up, man. A victory, we got that victory against Stanford and was just like, oh, well, everything is, we're good. You see the final score, and the final score wasn't really even indicative of what happened during that game. The score was 7-7 at halftime. All right, come on, man. I mean, I like Rhett Lashley. That's the baby U. They got, Chris Johnson, Romello Branson. Harrison Hunt was there. Brashard Smith was there. Keyshawn Smith was there. TVD is there. He just went and got all the players he was successful with at Miami. We should have beat SMU. Pretty good. But we lost. Right? And I think once we start seeing the light on this, that's what's going to change what's going to happen with Miami. It has to be, not only can we not lose, we should not be in a close game. We should be in the fourth quarter playing everybody else. I mean, like, that's what it should be. I don't know if Mario still has command over the locker room. Hopefully, some of the leaders in the locker room are still keeping the guys together. Some guys are just playing for tape right now. Tape for the other schools or tape for the NFL. And when that happens, that's when you see more losses and the season you stumble into the end of the season, right? You stumble into close games or losses that you shouldn't have. And this is, we've seen this script before. We've seen this story before. And hopefully there's something different. Hopefully the passing game is clicking. It looks smooth. It's, we're seeing it be more efficient third down conversions, crucial fourth down conversions, Carson Beck making the right throws, not overthrowing receivers. And I'm not saying he's been terrible, but he's had some games where he's been a little bit off. He's had some times where he's just like, he ain't clicking. He's not, I see a lot of Malachi Tony making the plays. I see a lot of CJ Daniels making the plays, which you should do. These are your playmakers. Let them make the plays. And we see a lot of that happening. Um, so yeah, man, you know, the season, salvage the season. We mess around, and the goal should be to go undefeated the rest of the season and see how things in front of us shake out. You never know. College football can get crazy. There's a lot of big games this weekend. The ACC is not, set in stone just yet. Um, we are going to be chasing teams. We already got 2 ACC losses. Um, so we're going to be chasing teams ahead of us, but crazy things can happen. So we got to take care of business. We got to take care of business. We got to do what we got to do. So yeah, tune in at home, Hard Rock. Pretty sure everybody's going to be locked in and seeing how this team comes out and what team is going to show up. We'll see what team is going to show up, and at the end of the day, man, it's like we still have hope, but we know what this team is. We know what this team is, and we know what the coaching staff is. And until we see something marginally different, it's like we're going to see the same outcomes. My score prediction, Miami wins. It starts off close in the first half. No, let me say this. I think Miami starts off fast in the first half, and it slows down. I think Fran Brown comes to coach. Their team comes to play. Miami wins 35-10. 35-10 is my final score. They jump out. It's maybe 21-3 at halftime. Of course, if they get up, Mario puts on the brakes. We slow the game down, and it's like they kind of slow grind into a victory. I would now, the old school you and me want to see a 60-0 game, which we could do, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So I'm predicting 35-10. That's my final score. But shout out to the guys. Shout out to No Sweater Picks. And stay locked in with us. We'll tune in after the game, and we'll talk about how it all goes down, and hopefully come out with a victory. But until next time, it's your player partner for the bottom of the map, and I'm going.